Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Fellow Americans, buckle up, because what I'm about to say might just shake the very foundation of your faith in our so-called justice system. Today, we're reacting to an absolutely electrifying exchange between Senator John Kennedy and Kash Patel during a recent Senate hearing. And let me tell you, this wasn't just politics as usual. This was truth-telling, Southern grit, red-blooded American accountability at its finest. Before we dive into today's explosive breakdown, do me a quick favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us beat the censorship, reach more patriots like you, and keep the truth alive.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump, and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI, replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon-to-be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kennedy points out a case that didn't get nearly enough media attention. A state judge in Wisconsin helping an illegal immigrant evade federal custody. Think about that. A judge sworn to uphold the law, actively aiding someone in violating our immigration laws. If you or I did that, we'd be locked up so fast we wouldn't have time to grab a Bible. Kennedy's point is crystal clear. No one is above the law. Not judges. Not politicians. Not bureaucrats. Equal treatment under the law. It's not just a phrase, folks. It's the bedrock of this republic. But in Biden's America, it's pick and choose justice. You can burn cities, riot in the streets, violate immigration laws, and still be treated like a hero by the mainstream press. Then it gets better or worse, depending on how much betrayal your heart can take. Kennedy reminds us about the two lovebirds from the FBI, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. You remember them, right? They were texting each other about how they were going to stop Trump from becoming president. These weren't just random nobodies. They were senior officials inside federal law enforcement. Let's pause right there. You work for the FBI. You're supposed to be unbiased, nonpartisan, loyal to the Constitution. And instead, you're actively scheming to sabotage the will of the American people? Now here's the real kicker. They didn't just get fired, they got paid. That's right. Your tax dollars, our tax dollars, gave Peter Strzok $1.2 million and Lisa Page $800,000 in settlement money. Are you kidding me? These people tried to rig an election, and they got a payout. Meanwhile, if a conservative tweets something the left doesn't like, they're banned, shadow banned, or worse, investigated by the FBI. This isn't justice. It's corruption wrapped in a government pension. And then, the Hunter Biden laptop. Oh boy, here we go again. Kennedy lays it all out. The New York Post drops a bombshell story weeks before the 2020 election. Emails, evidence, proof of influence peddling, foreign corruption. And what does the establishment do? Anthony Blinken, yes, our Secretary of State, organizes a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts to lie to your face. They say the laptop was Russian disinformation, and the media ran with it. Twitter censored it. Facebook throttled it. The American people were misled. Let me ask you something. Who is the real threat to democracy here? It's not parents at school board meetings. It's not veterans waving flags. It's not you. It's not me. It's the deep state, the media, and the Democrats who manipulate elections in plain sight and call it patriotism. And when Kennedy asks who in the FBI blocked the truth from coming out before the election, what does Kash Patel say? I don't have that name in front of me, sir. Of course you don't. Nobody ever knows. No one is ever accountable. No resignations. No prison time. Just shoulder shrugs and payouts. It's a culture of cover-ups and cowards. And then Kennedy goes nuclear. Did someone kill Jeffrey Epstein? Patel says, predictably, he hanged himself. Well, I'm sorry, but if you believe that, I've got oceanfront property in Kansas to sell you. The cameras were off. The guards were asleep. The logs were missing. Epstein was the one man who could take down some of the most powerful people in the world, and he hanged himself. Let's stop playing dumb. We're not conspiracy theorists. We're realists who see patterns. And the pattern is clear. The truth is dangerous when it threatens the elites. Friends, I know it can be exhausting to watch this circus play out again and again, but You can't check out. You can't give up. This is our country. We are the ones who pay the taxes, who build the businesses, who send our sons and daughters to defend freedom. We are the patriots who stand for the anthem, kneel before God, and refuse to be silenced. It's time to demand accountability, demand transparency, demand that our justice system serve we the people, not the ruling class. If you agree with what Senator Kennedy said, if you're fed up with the corruption, the lies, the double standards, hit that like button. Share this video with every freedom-loving American you know. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're just getting started. This is Republican Forum, where truth still matters and America always comes first. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.